Hello, I hope everybody is having a good day. My name is Dr. Heather Moore, owner of Total Performance Physical Therapy. Let's talk about why it hurts to sleep on your shoulder. This is one of the number one complaints that I see when patients come in and talk to me about shoulder pain. I can't sleep on it anymore. And it's usually one of the first things to go, and people just kind of roll on the other shoulder and accept that they just can't lay on that shoulder anymore. This is not part of the aging process. There's something actually going on in your shoulder that you want to pay attention to and you want to be aware of. So I think a lot of people ignore shoulder pain that could have been treated a lot quicker and a lot easier had you come in when, oh, it woke me up at night, or I can't lay on this shoulder. I think a lot of people excuse that as I'm getting older, I just, my joints hurt and I can't lay on that. That's not the case. It is a sign that there is something going wrong in your shoulder and you need to address it. And by address it, I don't just mean roll to the other side and ignore it or lay on your back. You want to figure out why that shoulder is painful when you sleep on it. So let's talk about why it usually is painful. So when you are laying on your side, what happens is you will normally bring your shoulder forward and kind of tuck it underneath you. So when you do this, you're actually diminishing some of that blood flow through the shoulder. And with that diminished blood flow, that can cause increased pain. And it's not something that's going to just go away because there's a reason why there's pain. Now, that is where we have to get a little bit deeper and figure out why is there pain. Is there pain because there's tendonitis? Is there pain because there's a rotator cuff tear? Is there pain because there's impingement? Is it all three? These are questions that you need to really see somebody to have answered, but it's usually indicative of one of those three things going on in your shoulder, if not all three. You can have rotator cuff tendonitis, which is back in here, some usually up in here in that supraspinatus area. You may even have some biceps tendonitis, which is not part of the rotator cuff, but also a very prominent muscle to have tendonitis in your shoulder. You may also have some type of impingement, and impingement is just that pinching pain that you get when you lift your arm overhead. Now, you may not have developed that pinching pain yet, but the sign that you can't sleep on your shoulder because it hurts is a definite sign something is coming. So even if it's just painful when you sleep, you may have the beginnings of this muscle being impinged a little bit. And then you may it also could have a rotator cuff tear. So your rotator cuff is found in the back of your shoulder and underneath your shoulder blade. Though there's a group of muscles that compose your rotator cuff. It's not just one, but when you have a small tear, even the slightest tear, and you lay on that shoulder, it can really hurt. And a lot of times what will happen is the pain will be down here, and this is what we call referred pain, but that pain is coming from your shoulder. So, and when you lay on it, if you get the pain in there, you could have one of those three things. Now, it could also be a labral tear, not usually as likely as some sort of muscular involvement, but one of those three things is causing that to be painful. And like I said, this is laying on that shoulder and having it be painful is one of the first times you may actually realize that there is an issue, and that is something you want to pay attention to. It is not something that's going to go away. It is, unless you fell on it and then you try to lay on it that night and it was sore. Otherwise, if you're just going to lay down, you want to make sure that it's not painful. You can do this by a couple of ways. I would recommend, if it is painful, that you see somebody right away. We offer free consultations. All you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898. Or what you can do is, or in addition to, is you want to obviously not sleep on that shoulder, but as you're sleeping on the other side, you want to hug a pillow. And what this does is it opens that shoulder joint up and it allows blood flow and fluids to go through that shoulder while you're sleeping to calm down any inflammation and to make sure that you are in that proper position. What you don't want to do, even when you're laying on the side that doesn't hurt, is slump forward or slump backward. That also can cause further inflammation and further irritation on that shoulder. So if you're laying on the opposite side, you want to make sure you're not hunching forward or rolling back, and you can do that by hugging a pillow. If you want to lay on your back, that's another great way too. You can put a pillow underneath your arm so it's elevated a little bit. Again, opening up that joint and making sure that the blood and the fluid are properly flowing through. But those are just two quick and easy ways you can fix that posture. Now, if you want to try laying on that side again, anytime you're laying on your side, whether you have shoulder pain or not, you want to make sure you have that side sleeper pillow that's nice and thick all right, so that it covers this area of your shoulder. So when you lay down, your head still looks like this. These are not fluffy down pillows. They are pillows that literally are very stiff, and when you lay down, it looks like this. So that leaves your shoulder some room. Now I was a swimmer, so I have a little bit bigger shoulders than most, but that way you're able to lay your head down. Your head's going to go onto the pillow, and it's not going to be resting on your shoulder. You don't ever want to have two pillows, especially if you have shoulder pain, because most of the time this is what happens, and you wind up scrunching up those pillows, or they wind up sliding up, and then you're using your shoulder as a pillow anyway. This will also aggravate all of those conditions that we previously talked about, the rotator cuff tear, the tendonitis, and the impingement. So you don't want to just lay there and scrunch up and scrunch that shoulder when you're sleeping. It's really important that you have that one thick pillow. If you're going to continue to lay on the side that hurts, have that one thick pillow that makes sure that this is able to move and be nice and clear, and you're not just laying on it. If you or someone you know is suffering with shoulder pain and wants a free consultation with a doctor of physical therapy, all you have to do is call our office at 215-997-9898, and we'd be happy to get you in. Thanks, and have a good night.